Hello, PascoMath Grade 7 teachers. Today we are going to continue our learning on 7.NS.1.2 Part C. Let's get started. 7.NS.1.2. Apply and extend previous understandings of multiplication and division of fractions to multiply and divide rational numbers. We're going to be looking at Part C here. Apply properties of operations as strategies to multiply and divide rational numbers. So let's take a second to unpack that. So unpacking it, we need to apply the properties of strategies, and these properties include the commutative property of multiplication, associative property of multiplication, distributive property, multiplicative identity, and zero property of multiplication. And so those are the ones that we'll be focusing on here. So what should you do as a teacher? Again, probably getting sick and tired of me talking about context, but it's very important that we use real-world context as examples for students to reason using the properties of operations. If we just try to get them to memorize the commutative and associative properties with just generalized numbers, it's not going to be as effective as if we can put it in some context. Let students solve problems in pairs and explain the operations they use. So pick specific problems that highlight these properties and then have the students talk through what properties were coming out of the math that they were doing to solve those problems. Also encourage students to use precise math language as they explain their reasoning. Again, math practice 6, attentive precision. We run a model for them as as a teacher, the appropriate language, and when they use the incorrect language as a student, it's not to say that you just correct them and say that's wrong. We want you just maybe when you repeat back when the student said that I just flipped the numbers and multiplied, and you'd be like, yeah, you use the commutative property of multiplication, and then continue going. So what are some things that students should do? They need to use the properties of operations to explain the solutions in real-world problems. They need to clarify their understanding of properties of operations by discussing with their peers and explaining their reasoning to the class. So there should be a lot of discourse going on in the classroom around mathematics. And then practice the use of appropriate mathematical vocabulary in discussions. So again, if a student isn't using the correct math language, then we can just, as we restate or have another student restate, we want to emphasize that correct math language. Some anticipated misconceptions. Students often confuse the associative and distributive properties because they both use parentheses. And so I would encourage you to model a problem using each with a context so students see the difference. And so again, we just don't want them to be looking for key things like parentheses means it's either associative or distributive properties, because they'll never be tested on just what is this property. They need to be able to use those properties to solve problems. That's it for 7NS.1.2 Part C. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or your regional specialist. And thank you for making PascoMath more awesome.